Beneath all this rusty metal and black caulk, we have the coolant lines that you saw up there and back here. And this is where they travel through. This is to protect my face. Okay, in case you're new here, I made this turbo kit for probably like $10, and we did it in 2 days. So that's why it looks the way it looks. This header had to get weird because the steering shaft, that thing I don't really even remember how this whole thing was a blur, but you need to get some different spark plugs. The ones on the Jeep are those ceramic end ones for specific situations like that. They won't melt. I don't even know how to describe what's going on there. The wastegate, as you probably remember in the video, was literally glowing.
The wastegate is glowing.
That turbo spooled ridiculously fast, just like we wanted. However, it's only on 4 pounds. At some point in the burnout, that coupler popped off. It did as good of a burnout with boost as it did without. So that means that turbo on 4 pounds probably really wasn't doing much of anything. Stuff got hot up here, but everything held together. At the end of the burnout, when I was just planted against a wall trying to get the tires to pop, the temperature got pretty hot, and thankfully the buzzer went off because I wasn't going to stop. This radiator we got back here is one of the biggest, baddest radiators you can get. A company called Entropy makes this. These are guaranteed and built to keep 2,000 horsepower drag cars cool. And for our little 400 horsepower engine here, this is plenty. These fans are out of control. The radiator's out of control. I've had this thing for probably 8 years now. It was going to go in version 1 of the Bug. After we finished it, it lasted about a week, and then we made that one. So I've never really used it. So we need to see if it works. Oh my. Before we get too deep into that video, which I'm very proud to show you, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you take 7 and multiply it by about 38, that's how many welds we have on the front of the Mini Cooper now. But I want to talk to you guys about Brett from Tactical RX. He's the mastermind behind these safety glasses I've been wearing for probably the better part of the last 3 years. Proud to say I've gotten nothing in my eyes since wearing these. There was one day I misplaced them and I had to wear some $5 throwaway glasses. Of course, the one day I wasn't wearing them, I got steel shot in my eye. I had to get it surgically removed with a Dremel. Anyways, was talking to Brett, and we got a little something for you, okay? So these are a bunch of random glasses that he selected for me to give to you guys. 2 ways to do this. Funniest comment. The 6 funniest comments per video are going to get thrown on this little Amazon Wheel of Wonder. I'm going to spin the Wheel of Wonder. It's going to land on a comment. You're going to win. I'll contact you. You can choose what you want. The other way to win it is these 3, not specifically, but 3 of the 10 are going to go in random merch orders from our website. You can buy a sticker, you can buy a shirt, you can buy gloves. Don't care what you buy. 3 random glasses going in 3 random orders. The rest of these are going to go to the funniest comments. If you don't want to wait for any of that to happen, you can go to tacticalrx.com, buy yourself a pair. I already told you how fantastic they are. You will not regret your purchase. They are top quality products. He's a local business and he's a car guy. So it's a beautiful thing that he has chosen to support us, supporting you. It's a wonderful thing. Okay. So do that, make me laugh, basically. And then let's jump into the Mini Cooper, because we spent a little bit of money, but I welded a whole lot, and it looks freaking sick. Okay, it works. All right, so game plan here after I unwrap this Chipotle burrito looking coolant tube is we are going to air quote delete/relocate the water pump. We're going to get rid of the factory LS water pump. I'm going to try and make my own delete instead of spending $500 on the ones that are available, because that's a lot of money, and we don't have none of that. Look at how crispy this got.
Ooh. You know, I know a guy that does Cerakote.
It's expensive though. I've never. This has like 2 heat cycles in it. I mean, 2 like burnout.
I was gonna say one of those heat cycles was a big heat cycle.
Yeah, I've never been able to just tear heat wrap before. I want to see what this turbo blanket looks like underneath. I haven't burnt this thing. This starter wire kind of started to melt to the exhaust. Okay, so that works really well. So we're going to put that in line with one of the pipes. However, we hacked this water pump up pretty good to make it work the way we want it to. My concern is, if that water pump ever goes out, we can't just throw a water pump on it, right? Because we welded and cut so much off that we can't just replace a part. Whereas if we are out doing burnout competitions and that pump fails, we can in fact just have one of those on backup and just swap it out. Whereas with that, we cannot. And so we're gonna put that in line, but I'm thinking we're gonna redo a lot of the hoses. What I've purchased here, I'm still waiting for a few more things to show up. This and its counterpart there basically just go where the water ports are for the water pump. And then I got some fittings coming in that are gonna screw in here. Gotta make our own water pump relocation delete thing. And then in this box here, we're gonna be getting rid of that pulley on the water pump. I bought a, what is it, ITC billet tensioner relocation kit. And at first I was a little sour because I'm like, man, that's almost 200 bucks. That's kind of a lot for what this is. But then it got here and I'm like, okay, like that's actually quite a bit of hardware. And now I am okay with the price. I mean, that by itself is a pretty serious piece. Basically, this is gonna put this tensioner, or rather that tensioner, it's gonna put it right down here. So that way we can still run those accessories there without having this one and that one. Oh yeah, forgot to show you the oil drain line was starting to get, see that? It's starting to melt and bubble up because it was so close to this. This was glowing hot. This was probably also glowing hot. We were seconds away from a possible explosion. Things were going to get very mucho jalapeno from right here. Oh, and down here. It was gonna be lit. Yeah. The easiest way for me to make what I'm about to make is to make a really simple jig. So I traced basically those holes from the water pump. It's right here. You guys want to see something funny? So I'm gonna take this bolt out so I can weld that piece right there. Well, it's not gonna come out. That one's not gonna come out either. I'm a genius. All right, so I mentioned earlier the only kits for that you can buy are like $500, which is why I opted to make my own. Welding in here was really difficult. The other design flaw that I've discovered, hindsight being 2020 and all that jazz, that Allen up there is only accessible if you have one of these like rounded wobbly Allens. And then even then it's somewhat difficult to really put some torque on it, but it does tighten down. I've got $100 in that because the 2 flanges and then the 4 fittings, 50 and 50 bucks basically. We now have our pulley relocation kit. Look at how stupid this is. Did you know, according to the state of California.gov there, this metal can cause cancer. This machine piece of metal can cause cancer. For more information, you can go to buttawesome.org and find out more. That sucks. They even have to put that on. So that was 200 bucks, right, for that little assembly. And at first I was like, that's a lot of money for a freaking pulley, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot included in this, right? It included a brand new tensioner, it included the pulleys, it included all this. I had a really hard time following the instructions, where'd the other one go? Putting this together. I couldn't imagine the amount of time it took to design this. Okay, so point 1. 2, all these bolts are different lengths, right? And in the instructions here, it shows you, it's like 120 millimeter bolt, it's 35 millimeter bolt. And I was like, I don't know what any of this is. So I was just kind of eyeballing all of it. Then after I'm done, I realized they put a freaking tape measure over here in millimeters so that you can tell which bolt is what. So not sponsored by these guys, quality product. Moving on. we shall see if this old belt, and by old I mean new, is gonna fit, or if we're gonna have to remeasure and get another one. Pretty close, but we have extra. The internet will decide. Austin. All right, so one of us insisted on doing a second weld because we weren't happy with our first weld, and then we weren't happy with our second weld, and then we weren't happy with our third weld. So, which one of these do you think is the best? For context, this is mine. Pretty decent. A couple spots, like right there's not consistent, you know, where I started and stopped. But overall, that second one of mine is freaking gold. Dennis got some catching up to do, boy. Get on this level of amateurity that I'm currently riding. He insisted on using his welder because he was used to it. Apparently not. Well, good news, bad news here, ladies and dudes. Our fancy pulley relocation kit no longer allows our turbo kit to fit. That's the bad news. Good news is we're gonna change the turbo kit anyways. I was just trying to put this up here. I was just trying to get height reference so we have we kind of know what our clearance is for this, because I'm gonna try and tuck these in a little bit more. We just need to make sure we still have room for those and that. There's definitely water in it. It appears there's a lot of water in it. Do we have a drain hole somewhere in this? Yeah, we should probably make one real quick. That's the steadiest stream I think I've ever seen.
Getting old?
Getting old, dude. See, look how much more water just came out. Idiot. This is the heat wrap that came off the header.
Oh no.
Isn't that crazy? I've never seen heat wrap.
It's not supposed to do that, is it?
No. Some of them are like, it's all,
this
is wet too, but some of them are like, I mean, like Doritos.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that crazy?
that's more scary than anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
it can't catch fire or anything, but I've just never,
yeah, no.
I mean, it's all, isn't that crazy? I've never gotten anything
insane.
that hot.
Yeah, no. Is that the part where it got
That was the whole passenger side header.
get better at welding, then you don't have to hide it? I'm just kidding.
This was for heat.
I'm just kidding. That is
Crazy.
fucking wild.
It's gonna be hard to tell, but can you tell where I patched it?
Down here?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
can't tell.
Try again. Exactly. Cut that part off right there, right? Because ignore all of that. We're gonna not make it any nicer, but just ignore it. So that section that was there was touching that. Well, now, well, that's flipped upside down. Basically, that was touching that bolt like that. So we were gonna just, add like an inch or so. But if we move this out at all, it starts to touch that. I'm gonna get weird and just make a new manifold. Jamie, the great Jamie of PFI, where did he go? Brought me this bad boy. This is a Pulsar 6275. So it looks massive, which will help my ego because everyone will think I have a giant turbo, but really the wheel is just a 62. And then the hot side is a 75, which means it's going to basically flow the gas that engine is going to put out without restricting it. Like, this is still small for an LS, but if you take a look at what we have there compared to that, pretty significant size difference there. And then the cold side here. So the wheel on the front isn't much bigger, and on camera, like, this one's sitting up taller, so it looks deceptively larger than it actually is. But the backside is kind of where I think we're running into issues on this. Is just really restricting it. So this will kind of be a happy medium. And like I said, it looks absolutely huge, which will help my ego because people think I'm cooler because the turbo's so big. But to get that to go where and how we want it, we gotta get back onto this party train here. I was experimenting with a lot of different, like, you know, I'll just run the runners to that, but I think it's just gonna be easier to kind of make like a log manifold and just send it down to where we want it. So I'm gonna hack this thing up more and use all these runners, including my patch job I just did. And we're gonna make ourselves a little turbo manifold again for the 17th time.
Did not move.
You didn't move?
Really?
It didn't move.
I did not move.
Showing the people. I got it, dude. I'm real good at this.
That was my first one. Right there.
Yeah.
Kind of just went downhill from here.
That's already better than my first ones. By a lot. Oh, I have a piece that you could just go to town on, actually. Yeah, this disgusting thing. So normally at this point in the video, I would play what I consider tasteful music over these time lapses to keep your ears entertained while your eyes are entertained. But every time I try a new song that I enjoy, someone feels so strongly about it negatively that they yell at me in the comments. So then I would normally just substitute my music choice with me explaining what I'm doing. But what I'm doing here doesn't really need explaining. I'm making rainbows with metal sticks. You know what I mean? Let me show you what we got, and then I'm very excited about this. I don't think this feeling's ever going to go away. Okay, so that's what we got. It's not fantastic, but that was all made with scrap metal that we had here, so it's going to work great. Shush. Where'd it go? So this turbo is huge, and it's freaking heavy. So it's going to be kind of challenging, but I'm kind of thinking something kind of like that. I don't know. I'm going to show you that later once I have it kind of figured out. Okay, so anyways, dropped off an engine at Morgan's house last night, and he had all of this scrap to give to me. And it's going to be a beautiful thing because some of it, such as this, is still brand new. What is scrap to one man is still out of my price range. If there was a how-to guide, how to build a burnout car, they'd probably tell you do not turbo it. They'd probably tell you to do a supercharger or nitrous. Two reasons. One, turbos make everything get hot. Second, turbos act as kind of a muffler, so it takes the noise down, which is kind of part of the show. That turbo's got such a big exhaust housing. If we pair that with a 4-inch exhaust, it should be pretty freaking loud. Oh, look at this. I don't even know what I would use that for. Does that give you a good enough indication of how big that is? I think that's 5-inch, he said. Wicked nice fan that we could put on the intercooler because we didn't even have that beforehand. A bunch of nice aluminum pieces. We can do all kinds of stuff. I'm so excited. Oh, this is great. Ooh. Ooh. Again, what are we going to use that for? I don't know, but I have it, and that's what counts.
And I'm going to start from probably right about right there.
Why don't you just start all the way down there and just, or start wherever you want and then just fill it to
How
it.
about I start at the top?
Yeah, start at the top. Oh, what a terrible start.
That was a horrible start.
He tungsten touch.
That was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it happens, man.
I didn't even think I was going to start.
Especially how many shots. Especially how many shots.
Yeah, how many shots are you in?
Like I said, what? Adrian.
Adrian, how
No-
many
no
shots?
up to 5 shots or no?
I think you only had one shot.
That's what I was saying.
He's welding like he had 10.
Okay. No, that's that. No. What,
Everybody beat.
No, what just happened? What just happened is absolutely normal silver. So
Ooh, the bottom of the pipe looks like an eclipse. You're making a perfect circle of yellow. That's a very consistent blue you got there.
for sure.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Since he's at 69, does that mean he penetrated?
Okay.
Because we're talking about amperage and metal. Right. Right. Yeah. He's holding it. That's impressive. You'd think he sewed or something for a living and had to keep consistent pedal control. Stop moving the cup, Manny.
I'm moving it forward,
No.
you piece of.
You don't do that.
I'm clearing the atmosphere of debris. How steady was I?
On the foot, you were pretty dang steady. But you weren't pulsing, which is the skill I possess. Sir.
But a back purge kit isn't that much.
We got it. We got it right there. I'm literally choosing to not do it. We have the hook.
Look right there.
Yeah, we have the regulator for it and everything. Max back purged all his.
But you do waste a lot of gas.
Yeah. How's that for fitment? Well, I only had to redo this 3 times. I will teach you what I have learned by having to redo this 3 times. Heat moves metal. Okay, so that little cut right there was to fix the first time that it didn't work out. And then all of a sudden, I had to make some relief cuts because it still wasn't lined up. And then it just got to a point where I was like, screw this is dumb. And then I just redid it all. And now, that thing is so big. Now it is on there. I also learned, okay, so part of that movement was that this didn't line up perfectly. As you can see how fat that weld is. I had to fill a little bit of a gap, and that made a lot of heat. And that heat made these 2 pipes just kind of go like, and then it threw this off all the way over here. Yeah, so it's So, I just dipped this fender and it turned out great. I almost lost it. But just dipped this fender, hoorah. Well, got it all over my arms. And when I was scrubbing it off with the Scotch-Brite, I then was reminded that I burned myself welding earlier. And so now that has a hydro-dip water in it. And so now I need to put alcohol on it. God. Yeah, this turned out good. All right, hopefully I keep saying this over and over, but as of today, this is the best thing I have welded, period. Really tried to keep like the heat signatures consistent like that. Some spots aren't perfect, none of it's perfect, but I mean the beads are pretty straight, which I haven't really been able to do. Some of them are still a little spaghetti, but overall, I mean that's by far the best I've done. This is gonna go about like that. And then in case this turbo lets go, I don't really want it pointed at the crowd. So unfortunately, this took like 30 minutes to weld. So I'm gonna have to do another one of these right there to send it up. We're still not back purging because I don't care, but I think we're getting close to being worthy of back purging. Some of these are like pretty close to perfect, but I need to get all of them to be close to perfect to really start tooting my own horn. But I'm very happy with that. Got some tips from my buddy Max and my friend John, and was just able to yield a little bit more consistency. I was really shaky too. I haven't eaten in a while, so maybe that was it, but pretty pumped about that. Make some more pie cuts, do a little schwamp, and then that'll be done, and then we're just waiting on wastegate stuff. Yeah, boy, I'm making progress. I could maybe start charging people now. That'd be cool. Absolutely the best thing I've ever done, TIG welding wise. Those are getting pretty dang decent. Let's see what it looks like on this. I was gonna shoot it out, but in case the turbo explodes, like I'd rather it be pointing up and not at a human. So hence the little extra swish. Okay, overall, like, what the heck is this? Why is that still here? I have a lot to explain to you guys, but we're gonna do that in a later video because, like I said, it is a lot. We got that dynoed, it was successful. I'm excited to show you everything involved and kind of show you actually how that ended up, and again, why it is still here. I did a terrible job of updating you on that, and I apologize, but yeah, I have explained it to you. Anyways, next video, we'll talk about all that, and I will show you the dyno video, and we'll kind of explain what is happening in that situation. Over here in this situation, let's tackle what we did because I'm very proud of it. Originally, I was thinking like, man, if I nail this, this might be a product I can make, but then I realized how hard it was and how gross my aluminum welds still look, and so therefore, maybe not yet, but that's done, and we saved approximately $400. This pulley relocation, tensioner relocation kit is on there. We just had to get a belt that'll fit, no problem, bueno. 7,000 pie cuts, some of my finest welds right there. Mwah. Big old giant 6275 pulsar from PFI Speed. As obnoxious as that's going to be, the intercooler piping on the previous setup was even more obnoxious, and I'd like to kind of hone that in a little bit to make this look a little bit more like I took my time and not like we did it in 3 days. And so still trying to find an intercooler that I want that will make the routing of the pipes look a little bit more like, wow, that guy's amazing. Did not get any further in here aside from just cutting the pipe and putting that thing right there. So we got to make a mount for that, make all that work. What I kind of seemed to skip on in the beginning was this radiator is plenty to cool that at redline for 2 minutes straight. But I think with all these bends in the routing of the pipe and such I think there was probably some air pockets trapped because we didn't really have a good bleeder. We just had that thing, and then up front we had another one of those. Now we have a cap back here that is the high point, so we can actually bleed the system properly. If you're worried about those not lining up, I used flexible aluminum, so don't worry about it. In all seriousness, we can probably just move this up a little bit and then we'll be golden. So that's what we have done. I wish I could start it for you guys, but we had to steal some components of this that were basically brand new for something else that we'll talk about later. So that's what we got in this video. I do want to try, and because that is obnoxious and it sticks so far forward, as much as I love it, I do want to kind of try and hone in on what we got going. So I want to see if we can bring the hood forward a couple inches and kind of tilt the back up and kind of get weird with it and make it look a little bit more, you know, kind of like the turbo fits in the engine bay, even though it really can't. A lot of people wanted me to put twin turbos in the headlights. Guys, once this is on the ground, that tire is sitting right here. There's absolutely no way we could do that. So I apologize that when I was in CAD designing this masterpiece, I didn't take into account that. That was a joke. I don't know how to use CAD, but that's what we got. We got a nice big old turbo that should yield a really comfortable 450 horse on low boost, and we're waiting on some wastegate stuff and the intercooler things. That's what we got. Do not forget, make me laugh in the comments. Where's the, there. Make me laugh in the comments. Get yourself some glasses, buy some merch, get yourself some glasses, the highest quality glasses one can possess. Next video, we'll go over all that nonsense and why there's a white car here with nice welds on it that I didn't do. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.